My name is Levi Shafter, and for the past couple of months, I've been working on this right here. It's based off of this item from the game Rainbow Six Siege. And for you not absolute chads of gamers, Rainbow Six Siege is this tactical FPS game, and is based off of a operator called IQ. In the game, what IQ does is she has her little gadget, as they call it in the game. And she is able to look at a wall and essentially see all the electronics around her. Obviously that's a bit hard to do, so I'm not going to be breaking any laws of physics. So I ended up settling for object recognition. Essentially what it does is it just draws a box around whatever it sees. I didn't really get too much footage building it actually. So I'm just gonna go over it and try and be as entertaining as possible. So the body of it is all 3D printed. I 3D printed it on my 3D printer here. And so essentially here you have a screen on the device and HDMI going into a Raspberry Pi, which the Raspberry Pi is essentially this mini computer. You can see it here, and it's got USB, it's got your audio port, so it's essentially, besides obviously it's a lot slower than your normal desktop computer, it's pretty similar and it functions similar as in it has this graphical display that we know as a operating system. And then for these little straps, I just use this nice tough nylon straps that I found this little kit off of Amazon here, and that seems to work really good, and it came with the buckles and everything, and I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, so it doesn't really close, as you can see. I think the way to fix that is you see all these hinges on the front here. We'd probably end up putting them on the back, that way there's enough clearance for it to close fully. And then I'd also like to add this little latch here. So this is definitely a prototype. So there's a lot of this open space in the front there. Looking at this is not functional. In order for it to really function, you need this power bank, and that just goes into the USB thing on here. And as you can see, there's no real good way to incorporate this into this thing. So, I mean, I might put it on the back or something, but, it's just a little bit difficult, so that's definitely a challenge trying to, and you need something this beefy, because unless I want to make my own battery, which I really don't. I had a couple laying around my house, and those didn't seem to work. I think I put down, $60 or something for this thing, and it works great as a power bank. It's just, it calls itself the smallest power bank ever. It's not small enough. I had one that was just a little cylinder here, and that would have worked well if it actually was able to power it. But this is just a little too blocky for what I'm trying to do, so. And I don't really want to, run it down into a bag in the back or something, so that's just something to think about. And then right now it's just we're running off of this, chunky, Logitech webcam, which I have this little Pi camera, which is what Raspberry Pi made, and it's just a little camera that goes into the port over here. But I was having issues getting that working with the object recognition system. The object recognition system that I was using was called TensorFlow. It ended up working pretty well for what I was trying to do. I don't actually know of any other object recognition systems that would have worked, because this is such a tiny little computer. I think it's the size of about a credit card. It doesn't give you a lot of space when Raspberry Pi is putting on RAM and such. This is the Raspberry Pi 4, by the way. I think I also made this for a 4-H presentation. 4-H is this, don't want to say foundation, but group of people, and I think it stretches all around the United States. And you learn about animals and all that great stuff, and it's just a good community there. But I'm mostly interested in the electronics class they have there. And my dad actually runs that class, and I'm one of the co-leaders for it. And we were trying to get like all of the members there. It's called presentation day, and so you get to go out and present whatever you made. And this is what I ended up making. That's not exactly 100% why I did make it. It was just something I had on my list before. Or I wanted to have like an offline like AI that would run in the background, and you could have voice commands and text to speech and all this great stuff. And I mean, you might be able to still do that. I think from the point in time when I was thinking about that, AI has progressed a lot, and there's a lot more offline AIs, even though they may be still a little bit primitive. The only issue is on the even you don't realize how demanding AIs actually are, and something like this I could imagine really struggling, but I'm not actually sure. But yeah, I hope I did a pretty good job at explaining this thing. I wish I had videos of while I was working on it, but I don't, so I'm gonna make do with this and see what I can do post. But I will be seeing you, and I hope you like and subscribe, and you just look forward to future videos. And I think the most valuable thing is just to comment and give a little bit of feedback, because that's really what would be the most helpful. Thank you.